Hi there, my name's Cordy and my dog has 3 legs and the question is, how does he smell? Awful. This is Nemo, he's Fenton's son. And that was me trying to play Peace by Horace Silver? Horace Silver? I don't know. As it happens, that was the first take recording through it, which went okay. I better them down. So yeah, that was my first take through Peace. Obviously I've been playing it for the week and practicing and all that stuff, but I haven't got anything written down. It's just what I've been working on. I don't think I looked at the sheet music at all either, so that's basically, I figured out by ear what was going on the original record, and I've also checked out Jonathan Kreisberg's version, which is great if you want to check that out. I think we're in the key of B flat major for most of it. So that first part, I think we got an A minor, 7 flat 5, then an A flat 7, which would be a tritone sub for D7. So on the sheets I'm imagining they're going to have written D7, but on the record they're actually playing A flat 7. The G minor, and then to some sort of C alt. So I was just playing this straightforward C7 sharp 5 to a B7, then a C minor 7 flat 5, and an F alt, then a B flat. Then we modulate up to B minor, which is a 2-5-1 in A major. Descend to F sharp minor, then and then something fairly strange. I don't know what the chord names would be, but those are what I'm hearing the voices as. So it's got a sharp 11 in it, and that inner moving voice to resolve. So if I break it down, it's like a B sharp 11, B7 sharp 11, with that moving voice, to a D flat major. Then to end the phrase, or the pattern, or I don't know, what would you call it? So again, I'm not particularly bothered about what those chord names are. but I'm listening to those inner voices. So that's like again, sharp 11 kind of thing. Moving that inner voice from the major third to the minor. Is what I was hearing happening on the record, so that's why that's the focus of whatever the chords are. I'm following the bass. And what the inner voices are telling me, and the general chord flavour. So it's not exact, but I feel like that's a C sharp 11, B minor 7 flat 5, and like some passing voices. So I'll look at the sheet in a second and see what they've actually written it down as. So let's just go through and figure out what key we're in for each of them. I'll just discuss that briefly for each section, because that's what I think is important, is working out where home is for everything, and then hopefully when you're playing in home, things should start to sound like you actually know what key you're in. So for those first, I'd say we're in G minor or B flat major. So that's the 7th degree. That's the 5th degree of G minor, or like the dominant third of B flat major, G minor, and then we're going to modulate to C major, which is the 5 of F, maybe. So you could see that as like the secondary dominant. I think that'd be what you would call it. So then I'd say we're in the 4 of F sharp major, and then like a 2, 5 in B flat major. So because we've got the C minor 7 flat 5, that's basically a minor 2, 5, 1 kind of feel to it. But you get like this surprising, I guess it'd be called sort of a tierce de Picardy, because you end up in the major instead of the minor, so it's kind of like a surprising resolution. So you might consider playing like you're in B flat harmonic minor and then resolving to B flat major, so that might sound like this. And then we move to this part where basically we've got 2, 5, 1 in A major to the 6 of A major with the F sharp minor. And for this, I think the home of these chords is F sharp melodic minor. So so that was how I was approaching those, and then we're resolving into D flat major. So just again quickly, I think we're in effectively F sharp melodic minor there, even for that. Major. And then we've got these, which I was treating as sort of altered altered dominants, but so you could play like a C7 to a B7 and then so that's basically how I thought about each of the changes there and how I was trying to approach soloing through it. So I decided to try and take some arpeggios through the tune. This is something I practiced. It didn't actually come out in my improvisation, but this is maybe the kind of thing that I want to practice more going forward. So that sort of thing, but I'm obviously going to do a lot more work on that. Maybe not so much with this tune, but maybe others. And then just I stuck on some vamping on like chord 4, so like a Lydian kind of sound for the start and for the end. So that was just my approach for the week. As I always do, I started off with the melody. And then I figured out what the sort of flavour of the harmony was behind it and listened to those inner voices. So that was basically what I came up with for P. Hopefully that's vaguely helpful in some way to hear how I was thinking about that, if you liked the way I played it. There's loads of other ways that you could think about this stuff, and there's different approaches, but this is just the way that I think about this stuff when I'm playing. Hopefully that's of some use potentially to maybe one person, but yeah, that's how I would approach peace. If you found any of this helpful, you could use the buy me a coffee link only if you can afford it and only if you wanted to, just to say yeah, I appreciate that. Or there's my Patreon, where I'll put up some analysis and I'll put up the backing track if you wanted to support me going forward. If you don't want to do either of those things, that's fine. Liking and subscribing and leaving a comment just to let me know that this was useful would be appreciated. I think next week I'm going to do Pure Imagination, the tune from Willy Wonka, just because I've been listening to that a little bit and I'm kind of digging the way it sounds.